Welcome back to another Love Island recap. This is USA Season 7, Episode 21 and 22. And I know I'm late. I'm very sorry about that. But this is my very last weekend that I have with my dogs because they're going to stay with my parents. I have to fly back to DC next week and I'm not going to see them for a couple months. So I really wanted to play with them, cuddle with them, and just honestly, lay in bed with them and rot and not really do anything. But I am back because we have a brand new episode tonight and I want to get this up before the episode airs. So this is actually, it might be a brief recap and I'm just going to share more of my thoughts and then we're going to get into tonight's episode tomorrow, okay? I feel like this season is ruined because everybody is trying to self-produce, especially Ace. And I feel like Shelly is a big one and Sierra. The whole entire point of Love Island is to find your connection and be closed off, become an official couple. And then you go to Casa Amor to test your connection. But there were no connections to be tested by the time Casa Amor came. And since everybody was plotting and scheming and self-producing, none of them were going to actually explore and give Casa Amor a test. They were just going to stay in their little bubbles and then come back to the villa and recouple with their original person and then maybe be closed off and then take it to the end. I don't know. So I understand why the producers had to step in and be like, hey, we got to fuck shit up and we got to change things up. Y'all have to couple up. You don't have a choice. And then they threw some bombs in there. I understand why they had to do it because they had no choice. So let's just get into the recap. This is Love Island USA Season 7, Episode 21 first, and then we're going to get into 22. So 21, Alandria and Nick got dumped, or so they thought, until a car came to pick them up and drop them off at a random dinner table in the middle of the woods. Oh, and by the way, Ian Sterling, I did not appreciate you trolling us about Jeremiah being there. That was so rude. I was actually so annoyed.
And you won't believe this, but their waiter for the evening is Jeremiah. Okay, I'm joking about that last bit, but still, Nick and Alandria, eh?
So Nick and Alandria are very confused. They're like, what the hell is going on? This is so weird. And then they talk about Casa Amor and the villa and what happened. And Alandria tells Nick that Sierra was getting to know a guy named Elan. And Nick is definitely bothered by this. And he kind of has a sudden realization after thinking that he was going to go home that even though he was the one who wanted to still keep things open, that now he feels differently and he wants to lock things in with Sierra. Nick tells Alandria about how Taylor was getting pretty cozy with a new girl named Clark and they got very physical very quickly. And Alandria is shocked. She's surprised. She gives this nice little badass speech about how if Taylor ends up choosing Clark over everything that he and Alandria went through, then he was never the guy for her.
He feels this emotional connection with her, and he also feels this physical connection with her.
If he's willing to throw all that shit away over physical attraction, Taylor was never fucking mine to begin with, and I'm okay with leaving this fucking villa with a smile on my face and knowing that.
Then the scene cuts to Clark and Taylor at the speakeasy, looking into each other's eyes, getting close, and then he kisses her. Bling, Nick and Alandria get a text, and they're given the option to go home or to couple up together and return to the villa. This is where Nick tells her that he's always been kind of curious about her since they've kissed multiple times in challenges, and he finds her so physically attractive. But then she got with Taylor and he got with Sierra, so they never got a chance to really explore things, but now is their chance. And when I tell you I got the tingles in my booty hole for this, because I was so damn excited for this Nick Alandria, because I've said this before in my earlier recaps that Nick had a crush on Alandria, because every time he was given the opportunity to choose someone to kiss, he chose her. So I'm like, yes! Finally, this season could finally be saved after that dumpster fire of an elimination of Jeremiah and Hannah, which I'm still pissed about. And now this dumpster fire Casa Amor, but Nick Alandria? Oh my God, if that were to happen and they took it to the end, this season could be saved. And I was so excited. So they agree to couple up with each other and try to explore if there's any romantic chemistry between them. So they sneak back into the villa and in the morning they surprise everybody and everyone is surprised. They're like, oh my God, we thought you went home, Nick. And then we see Taylor and he's not that happy. He sees Alandria and it's more like a, oh shit. What is she doing here? All the guys run towards Nick and hug him. So then Taylor gets up and then he runs past Alandria and jumps in Nick's bed to hug him. And he's hugging him and hugging him and hugging him and hugging him. At one point, he's swaying back and forth, his hands around his neck. Nick picks him up and twirls him around, and Taylor looks so happy. And then he goes to Alandria and gives her a half-ass hug.
Hey, Tay.
When I saw Alandria, I was like, ah, shit.
Then the guys get together and they're like, Nick, what's going on? What happened? Tell us everything. So he tells everyone about what the girls are up to at Casa, that Shelly is coupled up with an ex-athlete who's 6'7".
He's 6'7". Oh. To me, I was like, damn, 6'7", and then I thought, what would Ace think right now? He doesn't care about 6'7".
I really don't.
He's yeah, exactly. Yes, and then...
He definitely cares. He definitely cares. You want to know what that face is called? The face that he's making right here? It's called smiling through the pain. Now at Casa, Shelly tells the girls she really likes Chris. A lot more than she thought she would. And he's the type of guy that she would actually date out in the real world. So they're talking, they talk about tattoos, their favorite desserts, and they're cute together. I definitely feel some flirty vibes. Back at the villa, Nick and Olandria are chatting, and he tells her, I find you so attractive. You're like one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my whole entire life. And she gets so shy. She's like, really? No way. And he gives her a bright ass smile. I will say he's got a killer smile. Like, I melt every single time he smiles.
When I walked in, like, you were one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen.
Nick.
And I told,
Really?
I was like, yeah, I think you're super attractive and beautiful.
You just make me blush.
We see Taylor walk over to Ace. He shoves his head in the beanbag. He's dreading having a conversation with Olandria. And Ace is like, come on, you just have to do it. And then Nick joins in and tells Taylor to talk to her and just tell her the truth. So he pulls her for a chat. And oh my God, this chat right here made it so painfully obvious that Taylor does not give a fork about Olandria. He doesn't. Like, there's nothing. He does not even want to be talking to her right now. He tells her he likes Clark and that they kissed last night. And when he said that, you could tell she was hurt. She tells him, I really like you. And then she starts crying. And you know Olandria does not cry, or she does everything in her power to not cry in front of people. But she cracked when she was talking to Taylor after he told her that he liked Clark. This dude does not even try to comfort her. Look at his body language. His arms are crossed. There's so much distance between them. He doesn't even give her a hug, like not even a side hug.
And I really value you and our connection. And even though you have someone else right now, I still want to continue to nurture it.
No, I'm gonna be ping-ponging between both.
Ping-ponging.
Now it's game night. The villa and Casa Amor are given instructions where a guy and a girl that fit in the description have to make out, and either Casa or the villa wins. I'm not going to go over the entire game, but here are some notes. The very first task they got is that the guy with the shortest name has to kiss their partner. So it's TJ and Vanna, and then JD and Huda. And note the kiss between JD and Huda, okay? It didn't look good. There was no chemistry. It was Austin's turn, and he laid upside down because he wanted Jaden to kiss him, like Spider-Man. Ooh, didn't look so great. No. Sierra and Elan, what the hell was that? Damn, that was crazy. I felt like we were watching them in their bedrooms, like humping each other with clothes on. Huda and JD have to go again, and wow. And then it was Andrina and Brian's turn, and I totally forgot she was even there. After Jeremiah left, she totally disappeared. Like, what the hell happened? We never see her anymore. And she was such a big deal when she first came. I thought she was going to be one of the main girls. Huda and Chris, who's Shelly's partner, they ended up making out, and wow. The winner ends up being Casa Amor. But again, what did they win? Because we didn't see any prizes. Clark and Taylor have a chat. He's like, Olandria is taking this really hard, but I told her I'm still exploring things with you. And she's like, oh, okay, brr, I'm so cold. And he gives his shirt for her to wear. And they kiss again. Then Nick and Olandria chat in soul ties. He tells her she's one of the most beautiful women that he's ever seen, and she blushes, and he wants to know if there's chemistry, like they should kiss outside of the challenge, and then she blushes again.
I'm trying to see if there's anything outside of the challenges.
Oh, Nikki.
And they kiss. And the kiss goes on and on and on and on. And I am screaming in my TV and I'm like, yes, yes, God bless America. Season 7 might be saved. With Nick Olandria, this may happen, okay? I am rooting for them. I'm sorry, Sierra, but I would love to see Nick and Olandria have a connection. Now, while they're kissing back at Casa, Elan tells Sierra he'd like to kiss outside of the challenge to see if they have some chemistry, and she politely turns him down. Cut back to Olandria and Nick making out and making out and making out, and the episode ends. Now, when I tell you I went to bed so excited for Nick Olandria, I was hoping something would come out of it. I was so giddy. But then episode 22 happened, and that died in like 10 minutes. So let's get into episode 22. Nick and Olandria join the group after their amazing makeout sesh. She goes, damn, it's so cold. And he immediately whips off his shirt and gives it to her.
It's so cold. Where'd y'all's clothes go?
Keeping Alandria warm.
Ooh.
Then Taylor and Clark join the group, and Olandria notices Clark wearing his shirt. Taylor hugs her from behind, and then the guys do their special handshake. And Olandria goes, oh, I don't have a special handshake with anyone. And Taylor goes, well, maybe it's because nobody likes you.
I don't got a handshake with nobody.
Maybe you just not like.
Maybe. Maybe.
No comment. Back at Casa, Huda and JD talk about the challenge, and JD's like, damn, that challenge was so much fun. And Huda's like, yeah, but I had to carry your slack. And he goes, no, because you like being dominant. And she's like, huh? I was just trying to help you. No, you like being dominant. Okay, you were like combative. And she goes, okay, then find someone submissive. And he goes, you were doing too much. And she goes, okay, nice chat, bye. And she walks away. Huda must have had a lot of restraint because you could tell she was so irritated. She was getting the ick and she wanted to tell him off, but she held her composure and she walked away. Now, I don't understand why not Jeremiah. I don't understand why JD is getting so much hate for telling her that she was too dominant because, one, I feel like she kind of was during the challenge. Did you see her? I think I have a soft spot for JD because of the way he gave Amaya a safe space to be vulnerable and to cry and to like express herself. And therefore, I'm not going to hate on JD. I think he is a good guy, unless you guys know something I don't. Because that's all I know, that he was really nice to Amaya and that he told Huda that he didn't like her being so dominant in the challenge. So I don't know, unless I'm missing something, I feel like JD is a good person. He doesn't deserve all the hate for turning Huda down or telling her that she's too dominant. He was speaking his mind and I think that was fine. Coco and Ace talk about jealousy and Ace says he's not jealous, he's just overprotective. In other words, he's jealous. He's absolutely jealous. I will bet all the money in my bank account right now, all of $52.45, that Ace is a jealous man. I guess Pepe and Grayson are doing well. We barely see them. By the way, so many people were ragging on Hannah for getting over Charlie so fast and moving on to Pepe. Well, where's the same energy for Pepe? Because he moved on from Hannah to Grayson in a day. So where's that same energy? Amaya and Zach with a K have a chat and I really liked it. It was effortless, it wasn't awkward, it was pretty chill. And y'all know I love Amaya Papaya, okay? So Zach with a K, you better not screw this up. Then we see Nick and Olandria talk about their kiss and they both decide that there were no romantic vibes and that Olandria is going to keep pursuing Taylor and Nick is going to stick with Sierra. Great.
I think last night for me, that kiss outside of the challenge my mind was wandering and I was thinking about Taylor, I was thinking about
literally
Sierra.
Same.
Okay.
I'm glad it's just not me.
What the fork was the point of getting us all excited about the possibility of Nick Olandria only to squash it 15 minutes later? It didn't even last a full entire episode. So what the fork was the point of that? Clark and Olandria have a chat to clear the air. Clark says she wants to continue to explore things with Taylor, and Olandria says, yeah, this is going to be the ultimate test for us. Then Clark tells her friend Grayson that she feels weird about being considered a test because what she and Taylor have is genuine from her end, and she feels like she's more than a test. Then we see Olandria and Taylor chatting, and she tells him that she and Nick made out last night to test if there was any chemistry. And guess who doesn't give a flying fork? Taylor. He does not care one bit. It did not bother him. It did not faze him. He wasn't jealous. He wasn't bothered. He wasn't upset. He wasn't shocked. It was nothing. He was giving nothing. He was just like, oh, okay, cool.
Taylor's connection with Clark is a lot more physical. We all know that doesn't last. I feel like what me and Taylor have is like no other.
Bling, they get a text. There's going to be a recoupling at the main villa with everybody. Then we see Olandria taking some cute, spicy pictures in the photo booth by herself for Taylor. She's hoping that this will give him that extra something to think about.
Fuck his head up a little more.
And when he finds it, he does not care. He's just like, oh, look at this. What's this? Oh, okay. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Look at her. Look at how gorgeous, beautiful, stunning, amazing she looks. And listen, it is not just about looks either. She's sweet, she's funny, she's smart. Like, she's got the personality. Come on, bro. And what pisses me off is how Taylor led her on this whole time. I know Olandria is delusional, but Taylor, I feel like, led her on up to this point. I feel like at this point, from here on out, when he is with Clark, then I can't defend Olandria anymore because, like, they are right in front of you. Anyway, Ariana arrives at the villa in one of her best looks this entire season, head to toe. Loved her hair, loved her makeup, loved her dress. The Casa girls and boys arrived at the villa. They sit down as Ariana tells them what's about to go down. And this recoupling was so unnecessarily complicated with how it was all set up, in my opinion.
I think it's time to bring the boys out and see who they've coupled up with.
Yeah.
First up, it's Austin and Jaden. Next, it's TJ and Vanna. Our third villa couple is Pepe and Grayson. Next up, Ace and Coco.
And now there's one couple left. Is it Taylor or Nick?
There's only one new girl left. But did she couple up with Taylor or Nick?
What?
Nick, it's Taylor.
It's
Oh my
Taylor.
God, Taylor.
Please welcome Taylor and Clark.
And Sierra starts crying after realizing that it was Nick who got sent home. She's so sad because she really missed him this entire time and couldn't wait to see him again, but now he's gone. And I don't know why production made the girls so upset because, it was like 5 minutes later, they're like, just kidding. We have one more couple. It's Nick and Olandria. Sierra sees him. Everyone is so happy. The girls are happy to see Olandria, and Sierra's so happy to see Nick. She runs up to him, gives him a hug, cries, blah, blah. Elan sees this, and he's like, okay, I have no chance. I have no chance. And now it's time for the official recoupling. Each person gets a whiteboard to write the name of the person that they want to couple up with, and Ariana starts calling some of the islanders one by one. So first is Austin. He stands in the center. Then anyone who wrote down his name on their board has to step up, and Jaden steps up, and he reveals his board. He wrote Jaden, and now they're a couple. Next is Amaya. She stands in the center, and two men step up, Zach with a K and JD. And I honestly didn't know who she was going to pick. She ended up choosing Zach with a K, and now they're a couple, and JD is left single. Pepe and Grayson end up as a couple. Andrina and Brian end up as a couple. Next is TJ. He stands in the center. Iris and Vanna both step up. I was shocked that Iris wanted to be back in a couple with him. TJ chose Iris, so they're a couple, and Vanna and Zach with a C are single. Next is Ace. Coco and Shelly step up. Shelly chose Ace. I was shocked. Didn't she say that she really liked Chris and he was the usual type that she would go for on the outside in the real world? So why did she choose Ace? And then Ace chose Shelly. And now I'm really confused. And now I'm really starting to believe those rumors that Ace and Shelly planned this whole thing before coming on to Love Island, that they were going to get on the show and then like stay a couple and then do the whole thing and win the money. So Ace and Shelly are a couple and Coco is now single. It's Huda's turn. She stands in the center. Chris steps up. Huda chose him back, and so now they're a couple. I don't know if the editing was placed at the right time or if it was out of order, but when Huda and Chris chose each other and coupled up, Ace and Shelly gave each other this weird look, and they didn't look happy. But again, I don't know if the editing is accurate.
She's a great girl. She's attractive. She's witty. I can go all day, but yeah, I'm glad with my decisions.
Sierra's next. Nick and Elan step up. She chooses Nick. They're a couple, and Elan is single. And the last is Taylor. He stands in the center. Olandria and Clark step up. And honestly, I did not know who he was going to choose. I knew that he liked Clark and he didn't really like Olandria, but was he going to play the game and choose Olandria, or was he going to follow his heart and choose Clark? I didn't know. And then he ended up choosing Clark, and everyone was shook. They gasped. They were so shocked, except for probably the guys, but all the girls were stunned. And Amaya was like, Taylor, are you serious? Taylor, take it back. No, Taylor. And people think that Amaya was doing too much, but like, honestly, she wasn't. Have you seen other recouplings after Casa? People were way more dramatic. Amaya was fine. I'm actually not annoyed that Taylor chose Clark. I'm glad he did, because if he had chosen Olandria, then he would have been leading her on again and using her for the game and blah, blah, blah. But what really annoyed me was Shelly and Sierra. They were so disappointed and shocked in Taylor because he did exactly what they were going on and on about explore. You need to explore. Just because you have a connection doesn't mean you stay with them. You have to explore. Well, he did exactly that, and then he found a better person for him. So why were they so shocked and upset? I thought that's what they wanted. Everyone to explore, regardless of a connection. That annoyed me so much. Like, he did exactly what y'all were saying to do. And then, like, now you're like, oh no, how could he do that?
Clark.
What? There's no way, bro.
That is crazy.
Well, now Olandria is single and vulnerable again. So the singles are Elan, JD, Zach, Vanna, Coco, and Olandria, and the Casa people have to choose a guy to save, and the Villa people have to choose a girl to save. And we finally see them deliberate, which is what we needed at the Hannah and Jeremiah dumping, but we still didn't get that. Of course, the OG Villa people want to save Olandria, except for Taylor. He makes it known that he does not want Olandria to stay. I was like, damn, like, at least let her stay. After what you did to her, like, at least let her stay. But he was like, I don't know if you guys saw, but she was taking shots at me when I chose Clark. Well, we didn't see it. We didn't see any footage of it, but I don't know. Maybe the editors chose to not include it. I don't know. And then he was like, what if she stays in the villa and she continues to pursue me? And Nick goes, no offense, Clark, but you've only known him for 3 days, so he could change his mind and still go to Olandria. And I'm thinking, do you think he wants to go? He just said to eliminate her. Grayson speaks up for Coco. She wants her to have a fair shot. And honestly, I agree. I'm sorry, I love Olandria and I was supporting her. I was rooting for her, but it was her time to go. Coco deserved a chance to stay, and I was voting for Coco. Okay, if I had a vote, I voted for Coco. But majority won, and they saved Olandria. And Taylor does not look happy. He is dreading going back to that villa and having to face Olandria. And the other group chose to save Elan. Taylor looks miserable. But honestly, Taylor has it so easy. Olandria is not going to rip him a new one. She's not going to bite his head off. He's going to be fine. He just needs to grow up and just like have that closure conversation with Olandria. And hopefully he will apologize. But Olandria, girl, you better start grafting with other guys. Okay, I don't want to hear about Taylor. I don't want you to be sad about Taylor. I don't even want to see you look at Taylor. Okay, I'm just so disappointed in this season. Like I said, too many people are self-producing. They're trying to control their story. They're trying to plot. They're trying to plan, and they're trying to trick producers. And it's just ruining the whole season. Also, where's the hideaway? Why are they not sending couples to the hideaway? Usually when you win a challenge, a couple, they get to choose what couple goes to the hideaway, but there is no hideaway this season. Why? What happened? Why is there no explanation? The hideaway is crucial for a couple to get closer. I'm just so bummed that they got rid of Hannah and Jeremiah, and I don't understand why producers couldn't bring them back. If they were going to bring Olandria and Nick back, why couldn't they bring Jeremiah and Hannah back? they were the two that actually had a real connection and they wanted to see it through. Anyway, what do you guys think? I'd love to know your thoughts. Leave them below. I'm definitely going to finish the season because I'm curious as to how the rest of the season is going to go. We're still supposed to have the Twitter challenge, which they better do. And there's movie night, which they better freaking do. Well, that's it for the recap. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments and I will talk to you in the next one.
I have a secret to tell you. I'm a mommy.
Mamacita.
I'm a mommy.
Mamacita.
No, I'm a mommy.
Mamacita.
I'm a mommy.
Mamacita. Mamacita. Mamacita.
I'm a mom.
Mamacita.